This video, we are about to turn your current coaching program into a corporate offer, and we're going to do it in less than 20 minutes in this video. Okay, it's not going to take long. We're going to do it in 3 steps. We're going to map it out for you, and by the end of this video, you are going to see how you can take what you're already doing, whether you're coaching one-on-one, group programs, launching, whatever it is that you're doing. I am going to show you how to turn that into a corporate offer that you could literally start selling today after this video. So go ahead, pull out your pen, your notebook, your notes, lock in, get yourself something to drink, and get ready to go because we're about to go fast. I'm going to treat you like you are one of my clients, and we're doing our onboarding call and our intensive, and we're going to map out your plan to get this contract in the door. So let's do it. If you don't know, my name is Kirsten Allen. I am a retired account executive by choice. I took my experience selling over $16 million B2B in corporations, making them millions of dollars, and turned it into my own platform where I now work with experts, entrepreneurs, and my own company to land more corporate contracts. I have a passion for small businesses tapping into this space because I've seen one too many folks that are in this space that are not as qualified as you only because they had the information and the audacity. And so if you're over here on this channel, go ahead and click subscribe now because we're all about information and audacity over here. And that's what you're going to get when you step into these corporate rooms. So I'm not going any further till you click that subscribe. You clicked it? Let me know you clicked that. All right, let's dive into this. All right, so first things first. With your coaching program, whether you are serving business owners, women, whoever your target audience is, I want you to think about one big question. This is what I ask everyone that I work with. Outside of your pretty niche statement, what is the outcome that you help these people get to? Let me give you an example. I've worked with people who are business coaches, for example. Maybe they focus specifically on sales. That's a lot of people right now, because a lot of people need that, right? So you focus on sales. So you work with businesses to help them make more money. Cool. How exactly do you do that? Is it through content marketing? Is it through showing them how to network better? Is it through speaking? What is the vehicle in which you get them to the outcome? So first 2 questions. What is the outcome? How do you get them there? All right. So strip away the niche statement. Don't think about it so narrow. Just in terms of your expertise, what you love doing for people, what people have gotten results from, what people have asked you for, what you've written about, what you've built a body of work around. What is it that you get them to, and how do you get them there? All right, you got that written down? I'll give you a second. Once you have gotten that down, I want you to now take off the glasses that niching online has put on you for the last how many ever years you've been in business. Take them off because it only has you seeing one thing, one particular area of the online market that you can target. I'm about to blow your mind and show you what exists beyond that you could be tapping into, okay? So with that outcome and who you help, even if you're saying, well, I mostly work with women or whatever the case may be, we're not even talking about that. We're just sticking to that outcome. Let me tell you what companies pay for. To make more money or save more money. Very clear. When you can tie whatever it is that you do to that, you can win. This could even work with someone who's in a non-money-making niche, a non-professional niche. You could be in relationships, for example. If I was listening to this and I was walking someone through a relationship outcome that they could provide for corporations, you may say, and I've actually done this with a colleague before who's in relationships and she typically works with married people. And so I'm like, well, really, what are you helping them do? Well, I'm helping them be able to communicate better. Okay. Who else needs to communicate better to make more money or save more money? Organizations. If you were a relationship expert, it's not that you have to, again, focus on this statement of, I'm going to help you repair your marriage. No. What you really do is help people master communication skills. And now what you're seeing is that other organizations need to master communication skills so that they can make more money. This is why their outcome may be different. You may be doing the same communications work that you do to help strengthen marriages, and it could also benefit leaders. So their outcome is their outcome. What you're selling when it comes to working with corporations is your proprietary system. And it's easy to swap in and out of what you are helping with when you stick to, here's my framework, here's how it can apply to your organization. That's your thought. Practical example with this relationship, because I'm liking this. So I may not say, I'm going to help. So most people would think of it like, oh, well, maybe companies, they can, people can be in better relationships so they can be more healthier at work. It's like, yeah, that's possible. They're not going to pay for that. You'd be better off saying, here's my 3 C's communication method for strengthening better relationships among teams so that teams can be more productive and harmonious and ultimately drive more revenue for the company. You're not going to say it in that way, but that's the lane we're going in. We're aligning with who already in an organization needs better communication because the bottom line depends on it. Managers and employees need better communication. They may not be husband and wife, but they're people. People need to use the same skill sets that you're teaching to communicate better. So maybe your 3 C's are calmness, connection, and clarity, making these up, right? So your 3C system is what's going to be utilized to give teams those same frameworks to communicate better on their projects and things that they're working through. You don't need to be an expert in leadership development to do that. You don't need to be an expert in corporations to do that. You're giving them a different framework that they can use in the box that they're in, the company that they're in, to achieve success. When you do that, that's when they open up. That's like the dog whistle that they hear to say, she gets us. She knows our language. We need to bring her in. All right. So that's the first thing. If you're taking notes, go ahead and circle that. What is that outcome that I'm going to help these organizations get that they already, like I gave you examples, make more money, save more money. Where do you fall? At least you could answer where you fall on that spectrum. And then how is your communication? How is your business coaching or business results that you get people, or your, I've talked with people who are also, I'll give this other example that's kind of off the wall so that you can start thinking about it as well. I've talked to people who are in finance, right? So maybe they do some type of financial coaching. And again, they'll go to this end. Well, if employees can manage their finances better, then they'll be better at work. Yes, but they're not going to pay for that, y'all. They're not going to pay for that because that has nothing to do with the people and the work that they're doing for the organization. So you have to look at it and say, okay, maybe a traditional corporation might not be a fit for me, but maybe I could work with a nonprofit that's getting funding to do financial program for their members, right? Maybe I could work with a university to do some financial training for students that are about to go out into the work world, because a part of a university's end is preparing their students for what's next. So you've got to look at what you do to not manufacture interest, but look at where there's already aligned interests to their goals. A company is never going to pay you thousands of dollars to help people do something that does not apply to their work. No matter how much you try to say, well, if they're more financially literate, then they can do. Yeah, they don't believe that though. So you'd be better off and get more money going to the places that already understand that. So that's examples. Financial, relationships, business is obviously very clear. If you do anything around marketing or sales, very clear of how you can do that. If you do things around soft skills, leadership development, so I mentioned communication, could be time management, prioritization, overcoming obstacles, resilience, like all of those could be speaking topics for keynotes with organizations. Are your wheels turning yet? Drop a comment right now if you know what you could offer to a company, organization, or school. I respond to all comments, so make sure you take a second, drop down what's coming up for you right now in this first phase. All right, now you've got an idea. Here's the thing. You don't need to have a corporate offer buttoned together in order to do this. What I just gave you is enough to get started. If you got it clear down, if you followed what I shared, you've got enough to get started. Your next step now is to find the people who are already over this thing. Here's where most people get this wrong. They think they're just going to go to a company and find anybody and reach out to them and hope that they respond and say, yes, we want to bring you in. Never works that way. This is why when people think that they can do this on their own, they think they can just send an email and it's going to work. They don't understand all the factors of why email outreach actually works. It's not just send an email. It's send an email with an appropriate strategy. And if you want to know and see some examples of emails that I've sent that have led to a $154,000 contract, have led to a client closing a contract within 2 weeks, check the description below because I have the link to our email template that you can use so you actually begin to have some structure when you're doing some outreach. So if you want to go ahead and grab that and get this out here and start having some conversations, go down in the description right now, grab the link so that you can get that email template sent directly to your inbox, okay? All right, so back to it. Finding the people. 3 different places you can do this. In their inbox, going directly to them, like I just mentioned. LinkedIn, best way. I've did several videos on how to navigate LinkedIn to find people, but it's really simple. If you know what companies you're looking for, you know what titles of people make decisions over what you're offering. So that could be with my examples that I gave. If you're doing leadership, people skills, all of those sorts of things, then your HR folks, and not just any, but those who are part of leadership development programs. Those who make decisions over bringing speakers in, which is not every HR person. Those are the types of people that you want to reach out to on LinkedIn. In person, where are these people hanging out? Associations, events. Being a speaker at these events is like gold for opportunities. Those are all ways that you could be tapping in with corporate clients today. Bonus, your current network. If you are already in business, if you've already had success with clients, you have worked with people who have a 9-to-5 that have some influence. I never see people think about their existing client base as potential warm introductions to corporations, but they could be. I worked in companies where I actually had decision-making power and I was working with coaches, and that was never something maybe that they wanted to do, but I had decision-making power. So I could have easily influenced that. Don't sleep on the people who are already working with you. They might have some insights. Just send out an email. Hey, this is what I'm looking to do. I just want to see if anybody in my network was, this type of persona. Like I said, understanding who exactly you need to reach out to or has any connections to someone who is this. I'd love a warm, introduction. Why not? Share it to your network of people. Everybody has influence and connections to corporate. So I also don't like when people think that they have no connections, because what I end up finding out as I'm sitting across from them and working with them and going through this process is that in fact you do. In fact, I ran a small cohort at the end of the year / beginning of the year with some women who said the same thing. They believed they didn't have any connections. One in particular had 2 calls booked at the top of the year with the network she says she didn't have, by simply understanding what I just walked you through, what her value was and what she can offer. All of a sudden she said, oh, I know this senior person over at Google. You had a network, but it's not illuminated until you see your business in this way. And that's why we do this diagnostic. All right, so those 3 places plus the bonus are where you can find people. Last thing is going to be developing your outreach. So if you hadn't grabbed the template, this is where it's really going to shine for you. So make sure you grab it. You are not pitching your services. This is where people get it wrong. They think they need to develop the perfect pitch to send off. You are not pitching your services. In fact, what you are doing is pitching that first conversation. You want to learn more about them, because here's the thing. They will tell you everything you need to put in an offer. You don't have to create it from scratch. Yes, you don't have to create an offer from scratch and hope that they're going to buy it. They will tell you exactly what needs to be included in the offer to serve them. If you know how to have the proper conversations, how to ask the right questions, how to ensure that what you are recommending is actually going to drive a result for that organization. It's not about being the smartest. You don't have to have all the answers or know all the things. You just need to know how to ask the right questions. And I promise you, you will make more money. That is how I was successful in my career. That's on the back of the $16 million is that. It's a lot of failing. It's a lot of trying things out. It's a lot of looking crazy, trying to get it right. But on the back of my success was learning how to ask the right questions when I didn't know all the answers. Was learning how to listen. You will never know the extreme value that it's been for me to just listen to people than it has been for me to be the one talking. Invaluable, always. So that email template is going to help walk you through how I structure this outreach to get maximum return on my time, which means a call and then an opportunity in the door. It's about identifying what I've seen in them. What research have I done? What do I have to offer? Not a workshop or whatever. My expertise, my partnership is what I'm offering. And the ask is to have a conversation about how a partnership together could benefit them. People love that. People love folks who do even just a bit of research. You cannot, if I had $1 for every time a decision maker told me that people just send random things or they ask, what do you have for me? It's people who don't get it. They don't get how this world works. And I don't want more of us, more of you to be in that situation, or worse, just not getting up to the bat period because you don't have the language. So this email is the start to get that. So go ahead and grab that. All right. Did I make good on what I said? Do you now know how to turn your program and what you do into a corporate offer? No, we don't have to have the workshop and what the 6-figure package is going to include and all of that. No, because all you need to do is have those 3 steps that I shared. And if you have a conversation that allows, and maybe that's what my next video will be, dissecting what the discovery call should look like. By the end of that, you'll have an offer. You will have what it should include, how many workshops, this, that, and even what you should price it. If you ask them the budget question the right way, you'll have that information. So I'm all about creating opportunities for yourself, not just simply finding them, which everybody is looking for. Everybody wants to jump on something, but few people know how to create something for themselves where the company is only looking at you and it's just a yes or no to you, not you and 11 other people. All right, so I want to hear your biggest takeaway. Number 1, let me know that I make good on what I said by giving me a thumbs up on this video, all right? Because I want more people to see this and I want more people to get the information. So if I delivered on what I said I would share with you in this 20 minutes, I hope I'm still on time. Yep, I'm still under time. Give me a like on this video, and then give me a comment, your greatest takeaway from what I shared today. And if whatever other questions that are coming up for you, share those as well, because they might make it to my next video. And if I do answer your question in my next video, I'm going to shout you and your channel out. So that'll give you some additional visibility as well. So make sure you drop your questions below in your comments so that you can get that opportunity to get that shout out in the next video. And if you don't want this time to end, until the next video, go ahead and check out this one. And if you have not subscribed yet, if you stayed to the end, you're basically locked in at this point. So go ahead and click that subscribe so that you are here when I make my next video tomorrow and all to come in the several that I've done on this topic since the top of the year. All right. I can't wait to see y'all on the next one. This is how you're going to craft your offer. This is the steps that you're going to take to turn your program into an amazing corporate engagement. And I cannot wait to see you do it. Talk to you soon.